Hello guys, good morning. Kumusta kayo? I hope that everyone is doing good and I want to greet you a Merry Christmas and bountiful New Year. Sana maging matamis ang salad natin ngayong Pasko. But before that, let me first discuss to you some important reminders that you have to take into account in doing your paper. Particularly, it has something to do with the data that you will present on chapter 4. So technically, your basis for the information that you will present on your chapter number 4 is your statement of the problem. Make sure that all of your statement of the problem mentioned on your chapter number 1 were answered and properly discussed on your chapter 4. Because if your statement of the problem was not answered, was not discussed on chapter number 4, there is a big possibility that you will redefend and repeat your paper because the purpose of your final oral defense is to present to us the final findings, the final output of your paper after you conducted data gathering with your chosen respondents and participants of the study. But my main concern here has something to do with usually the last question we ask on the statement of the problem. Example, let's have this example on my screen. This is a paper from tourism department. So technically, they have here five statement of the problem. No, they want to conduct a SWOT analysis on the coastal preservation plan of the municipality of Balayan. So these are their questions on the statement of the problem. Question number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5, lastly, number 6. So katulad ng na-mention ko kanina, the main concern for this video discussion is all about the last question that usually appears on your statement of the problem. So ito yung last question nila. Based on the findings, what tourism plan can be recommended to the tourism municipality office of Balayan, Batangas? So since you have this question, technically, the panelists will assume and will expect that you have a proposed output for the tourism office of municipality of Balayan. Okay? It is expected na meron kayong output na ipepresent sa mga panelists. Ngayon ang tanong, ano yung magiging basis ninyo para makapag-propose kayo ng output or para makapagbigay kayo ng output, makapaglagay ng output sa paper? Your basis should always be the data gathered and the interview you conducted to your respondents and participants of the study. Do not assume, do not anticipate. Huwag kayong basta-basta mangongopya sa internet. Huwag din kayong basta-basta maglalagay na lang ng mga kung ano-anong mga activities. You have to make sure that there is a justification, there is a wisdom, there is a knowledge, there is an explanation regarding why these are the activities you've mentioned on the output. On the event, for example, hypothetical, wala kayong ganyang question sa SOP ninyo. Hindi kayo naglagay ng ganyan. Hanggang SOP number 5 lang kayo. And then you did not include there an output. So, pwede pa rin ba kayong maglagay ng output even though you do not have that kind of SOP on your paper? The answer is yes. That's far better. Mas okay yon. Mas matutuwa ang mga panel. Why? Kasi, meaning to say, you were able to grasp, you were able to understand, you were able to comprehend ano yung importance, ano yung significance, ano yung value ng data na nakuha ninyo from your respondents and participants of the study. So meaning to say, not because you do not have that SOP on your statement of the problem or you do not have that question on your SOP is that hindi na kayo pwedeng maglagay. No, that's not the case. Whether you have that on your SOP or wala kayong ganyang question on your SOP, you may include. Pero, required ito sa lahat ng mga papers na may ganyang SOP. Okay po, so I hope I made a clear discussion on that. Ngayon, ano usually ang itsura niyan kapag ipine-present natin? What is the usual format or structure of a plan na inilalagay sa paper natin? Take note, this is just an example. Your output should always be based on the data gathered that you have and based on the nature of your problem. Baka ang pinag-aralan ninyo ay may kinalaman sa employees satisfaction o di kaya naman employees motivation. Tapos magpo-propose kayo ng tourism plan. No, that's not the case. Align the output, align the plan on the data gathered, and on the type of the problem or gap you addressed on your paper. Okay, so on this example, ang ginawa nga nila ay propose Balayan Tourism Plan or propose tourism plan for Balayan. So this is how we format it. Technically, we have here the label of the table, kung pang ilang table man yan, so it is just an assumption that this is table number 3. And then forget to include the name. So propose Balayan Tourism Plan. After that, don't forget to insert at least one paragraph brief introductory statement regarding on the contents of the proposed plan or proposed output that you have. And then after that, the table format of the activities. So here we have the goal, what is the objective or what is the goal for that particular activity or strategy. And then anong strategy ang gagamitin ninyo for you to meet the goal. And then anong pangalan ng activities or ng programs na ipopropose ninyo para ma-meet ninyo yung strategies na inilagay nyo dito. Saan nyo siya i-conduct? Kailan nyo siya i-conduct? Sino ang mga taong involved? And then saan ninyo kukuhanin ang pondo? So example, goal, promote sustainable tourism while enhancing coastal conservation. Anong strategies ang gagawin nyo dyan or ano yung specific objectives? They will develop ecotourism activities. Anong ecotourism activities na yon? They will call these ecotourism activities as ecotourism program na ang nilalaman ay develop eco-friendly tourism experiences such as mangrove tours, coral reef snorkeling that promote conservation and community engagement. So saan siya gagawin? Kailan siya gagawin, and then sino yung mga persons involved, saan manggagaling yung pondo. Okay. Ito lang yung paalala ko sa inyo mga anak. When you think of the activities, no, this one, when you think of the activities or the program or the project you will propose to your paper, make sure, brainstorm, pag-isipan ninyo. Are these feasible? Are these realistic? Are these actionable? Mamimit ba natin to? Magagawa ba natin to? Meron pa tayong mapagkukuhanan ng data. So that's how you should think of the activities. And then you may include at least 5 activities and more. So dito meron silang ilang activities. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So they have 10 activities for their proposed tourism output. So meaning to say, they have 10 proposed activities with 10 different goals, strategies, location, time frame, responsible, and fund source. Another reminder of Sir Giovanni, the format of the table varies depending on your reference. So siguro, yung group na to, meron silang nakitang example sa internet na pwedeng i-adapt yung format para sa Municipality of Balayan. O di kaya naman siguro, pwede kayong magtanong sa mga respondents ninyo sa settings, halimbawa sa tourism office ng Balayan. If meron ba silang existing format na pwede ninyong gamitin as reference, tutularin lang ninyo yung format pero iba yung content. Kung sa school naman kayo, O baka yung school kung saan ninyo kinonduct yung study ninyo, mayroong reference or may format na ginagamit, pwede ninyong kuhanin. The formatting is very important on the output. Why? Because this will be the determining point whether the school, the settings, the location where you conducted the study can adapt your work. If the format does not align on their format, they cannot easily adapt that kasi kailangan pa nilang i-edit yung format ninyo. So be reminded, the format, the contents, the activities you will include is very, very important. So I hope I make a clear discussions on that. Thank you so much for listening. And if you have questions, do not hesitate to raise those questions to Sir Joanny. Salamat and God bless.